Hello Internet, this video is part of the Jeep Project playlist on Scott's Garage, where my father Doug and I are doing a complete frame-off restoration of our 1946 Willys CJ2A. In this video, we're going to do an unboxing of a complete wiring harness kit sold by Kaiser Willys Auto Supply. Keep watching. Now, the first thing I want to say is that getting a wiring harness, a new wiring harness, or a complete kit like this, it's well worth it. This is the first Jeep that I have restored, but I've restored 3 other classic cars, all of them Mustangs, a 1965, a 1966, and a 1969. And the very first Mustang was my Mustang, was a 1966. Remember that Mustang, Dad?
I remember it well.
Yeah. So we purchased it in Colorado. I was my first year in college, and Dad drove the car from Colorado to Montana, and the car had some issues. And one of the issues was a guy named Bubba. He modified the wiring, and it was jerry-rigged. And if I remember right, Dad, as you drove that back, the engine ran fine, except when you turned the headlights on. What happened when you turned the headlights on?
It shut the engine off.
Yeah, it shut the engine off. And then the weird thing about it was that if you changed it to the brights, it would stay on. So for whatever reason, no lights, the engine would run. Headlights, but you had to have the bright lights on, and the engine would stay running. But other than that, the headlights would conk the engine. And we decided back then, this was back in the 80s, that we don't like Bubba, how he messed up the wiring. So we bought a wiring harness for that Mustang, and it was well worth it. Likewise with the Jeep, I ripped out all the wiring, and I wanted nothing to do with the old wiring. I wanted to start fresh. And these are not cheap, but they're well worth it. And you can get 10% off your order if you use my discount code SGarage at Kaiser Willys Auto Supply. Use that code SGarage upon checkout for 10% off this complete wiring kit. Now let's take it out of the box, and I just want to make some comments on it. And the first thing you'll notice as you look at these is there are several wiring harnesses in the kit, and this is called the main harness. It originates in the engine bay, and it will end up in the, actually goes this way, ends up through the firewall into the dash area. And you can tell this harness by this one wire, the blue wire with this end on it. And what this is actually the light, the dashboard light that goes above the instrument cluster. And that's the main harness. Now, a couple other things about this. It's very well color coded. So a series of green and blue and black and red. And not only that, but some of the wires are striped. There's single stripe and there's double stripe. In this case, there's a triple stripe. So it's blue with white stripe. And there are others, for instance, here's a black with a red stripe, and then here's a red with a white stripe and a black with a white stripe. So, but it's very clearly marked, and likewise, there's a schematic that identifies all of these wires. Notice as well that the wires do not have the plastic coating, the PVC coating that we're used to with all wires today. And that's because back in the 30s and 40s, they didn't have PVC covering wires. That had not been invented yet. So what this is fabric, and it's beautiful. It's fabric covering the wire. Now the original wiring, you pointed out, it also had another substance in it.
Yeah, it had asbestos.
Asbestos. So the new wiring harness don't have asbestos. Don't worry about that. But Dad's right. The old wires in old vehicles had asbestos, and so just be careful with it. I don't like working with that. Again, I threw the old wiring harness away. So this is the main. I'll have a separate video on hooking up the main and all the instruments and the dashboard, and actually starting the engine. I can do everything from this main wiring harness. Now the second one that we're going to look at, it's called the tail light harness. And it's the longest harness in the kit. And it goes from the engine bay all the way to the rear of the vehicle. It's going to power the tail lights. Now, I should point out that when I ordered this through Kaiser Willys, there's several options depending upon what you want to do. Now, we're keeping this Jeep original. It's a 6-volt system with this exception. We want the vehicle to have 2 brake lights and we want to have turn signals. So that's important information. When I ordered this loom in this kit, I pointed that out, that we'll be eventually adding turn signals, and so it's wired accordingly. So make sure that you do that. Now with this, and this actually goes the wrong direction, so this part will go into the engine bay, and then it runs along the frame of the vehicle. What you should notice here as well, that it has a special loom, and this is called an asphalt loom. Now, we're used to asphalt being mixed with sand and gravel aggregate for pavement and for parking lots and that. But you can use asphalt for different things. So it's a fabric loom that's been coated with asphalt, and it's not sticky or anything, but this weatherproofs the wiring harness, and a lot of these harnesses have this asphalt loom to protect them. Also, with the connections, there's male and female. You can see them here, the female connections. And I'll be using a dielectric grease for all the connections. It just makes for a better connection, and it also prevents heat from escaping. And again, upcoming videos, I'll be using this quite a bit. There are several other harnesses. So this one happens to be this is called the right side headlight harness, and you can see it has a special connector that fits right into the headlight. And then there's a shorter one here, and this would be the driver's side or the left side headlight harness. And there are a number of other harnesses and looms and individual wires that are in this kit. I'm not going to go through them right now, but in upcoming videos, I will show you every wire that I connect. I will be using the schematic that came with it from Kaiser Willys. And also, I'm pretty sure that the original manufacturer of this kit was Willys. Because I've watched videos, Willys company that produces parts for Jeeps, and it's very high quality. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kaiser Willys has a partnership with Willys, and all the documentation and everything is on the handout is exactly the same as the Willys kit. If you got any value at all from this video, please give us a like. It costs you nothing, but is a great value to us. Also, you can get 10% off this kit by using my discount code SGarage upon checkout. Have a great day.